Here are a few important things that you need to know about workplace investigations of harassment and discrimination complaints in California. When you file any type of harassment or discrimination complaint at work against your coworker or against a manager, most employers, except for very small companies, most other employers have a legal obligation to conduct an investigation, even if they think that your complaint is not serious enough, and even if they disagree with your allegations. So the moment you submit your complaint to your HR or to upper management, that obligation is triggered, again with a few exceptions of those smaller companies. Most larger employers today appreciate this obligation, and they usually hire an outside investigator who can be as impartial as possible in conducting that investigation. So that investigation generally includes interviewing all the parties and all the witnesses who might have relevant information to the allegations that you're making, and then issuing findings. Some of those findings might be confidential, others are not, but generally the goal of the investigation is to try to determine what happened, issue findings, and help the employer take appropriate steps in order to prevent future discrimination and harassment, and address what's going on right now, and possibly punish those who were involved in perpetrating harassment or discrimination. So, what does this mean to you if you're the one who is complaining about harassment and discrimination? Well, first of all, when you submit a complaint, you need to be ready for being interviewed, and it's not a bad thing, it's not something that you should perceive as a punishment, but you should know that you should expect a conversation with an investigator where you will go over the details of your complaint for several hours at least, or even longer. It might take a whole day, it might even take longer. So if that's something that you really want to avoid, you should ask yourself whether filing a complaint is worth it. Of course, every situation will be different. Now, if you go into the investigation and if you're being interviewed, here are a few things that you should consider. First, the investigator, especially if it's an outside investigator, is not your enemy, and you should not treat them as such. This is not your employer's attorney, so you should not be contentious and you should not be argumentative. Although an argument can be made that investigators are not truly impartial because they're paid by the employer to conduct the investigation, ideally and most of the time, the investigators take their job seriously. They are really trying to get to the bottom of what happened to the best way possible, and someone has to pay them. So it's either you or the employer, so the employer has to pay them. It's only fair because they're in the best position to do so, and it's their job to conduct the investigation. So the investigator is not the enemy. You should be nice to them. You should answer the investigator's questions as truthfully and as clearly as possible, just like you would in any other legal proceeding. I give this advice for depositions over and over. Do not just sit and talk. Answer the questions asked and stop talking unless you really tell me what happened, or tell me what he did to you after this or after that. Otherwise, if you talk a lot, your investigation is going to last much longer. And whether the investigator is nice or not, I don't know too many people who enjoy being interviewed and enjoy reliving those incidents. And last but certainly not least, do not be nervous. There is no reason to be nervous about your interview. If you tell the truth, if you don't exaggerate, and if you say, I don't remember, or here's my approximate answer, but I don't remember the exact date or the exact number that something happened, you have nothing to worry about. The interview is for you. It's designed to help you and the employer to get to the bottom of things and help resolve the issue that you have at workplace. Get a good night rest, get through the interview, you're not doing anything wrong, and hopefully things will improve and the issue that you have will be fixed sooner than later. Thank you.